Just last week, I was sitting in my garden, watching a butterfly emerge from its cocoon. For hours, I observed its struggle, painful, persistent, and purposeful. Many times, I felt the urge to help, to break open that cocoon and free the creature from its apparent suffering. That very struggle was essential for its survival. That butterfly needed to fight through its constraints to strengthen its wings for flight. This, my friends, is the perfect picture of sacrifice. How many of you in this room right now are in your cocoon season? I want you to raise your hands. Look around. Every single person who raised their hand understands the uncomfortable place of transformation. Sacrifice is not just about giving up something. Oh no, it's much deeper than that. Sacrifice is the price you pay today for the person you are designed to become tomorrow. When I look into this audience, I don't just see people, I see sleeping giants, wrapped in cocoons of comfort, waiting to break free into their full potential. Some of you are sitting here thinking, but I have already sacrificed so much. The level of sacrifice you are willing to make directly corresponds to the level of success you are capable of achieving. Your sacrifice is not your enemy, it's your elevator. It's not your burden, it's your bridge. You must understand this fundamental principle. Everything valuable in life requires sacrifice. Your current reality is a direct result of sacrifices you either made or failed to make 5 years ago. And here's a powerful truth. Your reality 5 years from now will be determined by the sacrifices you choose to make or avoid today. I am reminded of a young man who came to my office some years ago. He was frustrated because his dream seemed too far away. He had a vision of building a business empire. But he was unwilling to give up his expensive car, his lavish lifestyle, his comfortable routine. I looked him in the eye and asked him one question. Are you willing to live today like others won't, so you can live tomorrow like others can't? That question changed his life. And today I ask you the same question, you're saying, so see. Every great harvest begins with a sacrifice of seeds. The farmer who eats his seed will have food for a day, but the farmer who plants his seed will have food for a lifetime. Sacrifice is not just about losing something. It's about investing in your future. It's about trading what you have for what you could become. The nature of sacrifice requires that you understand this vital truth. The nature of sacrifice requires that you understand this vital truth. Everything of value demands a portion of your life. When you understand this principle, it revolutionizes how you view sacrifice. Many people think sacrifice is about loss. But I am here to tell you that true sacrifice is about exchange. Every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. Every time you invest your time in one activity, you are sacrificing that same time that could have been spent on another activity. This is why purpose must guide your sacrifice. Without purpose, sacrifice becomes mere suffering. Yesterday, I watched a young athlete training in the rain while others were sleeping. He was running. While others were comfortable in their warm beds, he was pushing his body to its limits. To some, it looked like torture. To others, it looked like madness. But to him, it was purpose in motion. His sacrifice was guided by his vision of standing on that Olympic podium. His purpose made his sacrifice meaningful. Some of you are making sacrifices right now, but they are misdirected sacrifices. You are sacrificing your health for wealth, only to later sacrifice your wig and your health. You are sacrificing your family for your career, only to later sacrifice your career trying to save your family. This is what happens when sacrifice is not guided by purpose. Sacrifice without purpose is waste. Write that down. Sacrifice without purpose is waste. When you understand your purpose, you understand what to sacrifice and what to protect. Purpose gives your sacrifice direction. There's a common misconception that sacrifice means giving up everything. No, no, no. True sacrifice is strategic. It's calculated. It's purposeful. You don't jump off a cliff to prove you can sacrifice. That's not sacrifice. That's suicide. True sacrifice is like pruning a tree. You cut away specific branches so the tree can grow stronger, taller, more fruitful. I am looking at someone right now who's afraid to sacrifice. You are holding on to things that are holding you back. You are clutching comfort with both hands, wondering why you can't grab hold of opportunity. But here's the principle you must understand. Your hands must be empty to receive something new. The universal principles of sacrifice are unchanging. Sacrifice always precedes success. Always show me a successful person, and I will show you someone who has sacrificed something significant. The size of your sacrifice often determines the size of your success. You cannot have $1 million dreams with $100 sacrifices. Sacrifice is temporary, but its rewards can be permanent. The butterfly struggles for a short time, but it flies for the rest of its life. The athlete trains for a season but can wear that gold medal forever. The student studies for a few years but carries that education for a lifetime. What you are going through right now is not permanent. Your season of sacrifice is just that, a season. But what you will gain from this season can last a lifetime. Your sacrifice is like a seed. It looks like it's dying in the ground, but it's actually positioning itself for multiplication. When you understand these principles, sacrifice becomes less of a burden and more of an investment. It becomes less about what you are losing and more about what you are gaining. This understanding transforms your perspective, which transforms your attitude, which transforms your actions. Because when you can see where you are going, no price is too high, no mountain too steep, no sacrifice too great. Vision, my friends, is what transforms sacrifice from a burden into a bridge. When you have vision, sacrifice becomes a willing partner in your journey to greatness. I remember sitting with a young woman in my office. She had all the degrees, all the certificates, all the qualifications, but she was stuck. Do you know why? Because she had education without vision. She had information without inspiration. She was qualified but not called. And then one day, something clicked inside her. She saw herself building schools in underprivileged communities. Suddenly, her sacrifice had meaning. Her vision gave her sacrifice purpose. Vision is not just about seeing something. It's about seeing something that does not exist yet and being willing to pay the price to make it exist. Vision makes you willing to look foolish today so you can look fantastic tomorrow. Vision makes you willing to be misunderstood now so you can be celebrated later. Your vision must be bigger than your sacrifice. If your vision isn't bigger than your sacrifice, you will quit when the pressure comes. You will surrender when the storms come. You will retreat when the critics come. But when your vision is bigger than your sacrifice, nothing can stop you. Nothing can discourage you. Nothing can defeat you. Some of you are sacrificing with no vision. You are working hard with no direction. You are giving up things with no purpose. That's why you are tired. That's why you are frustrated. That's why you are ready to quit. But today, I am calling you to lift your eyes, look beyond your current circumstances. See beyond your present situation. Vision sustains sacrifice because vision gives sacrifice context. When you understand the why behind your sacrifice, you can endure anyone. The mother who stays up all night with her sick child does not call it sacrifice. She calls it love. The entrepreneur who works 18-hour days does not call it sacrifice. They call it investment. The athlete who trains in pain does not call it sacrifice. They call it preparation. You must paint such a clear picture of tomorrow that it makes today's sacrifice look small in comparison. Your vision must be so real that you can taste it, touch it, feel it. It must be so clear that you can describe it in detail. Because clarity breeds conviction, and conviction fuels sacrifice. Your vision must become your obsession. It must wake you up in the morning and keep you up at night. It must drive you when you are tired, push you when you are discouraged, lift you when you are down. The size of your vision determines the size of your sacrifice. Small visions require small sacrifices. But big visions demand everything you have got. And speaking of demands, there's a price tag attached to every dream, a cost connected to every vision. And speaking of demands, there's a price tag attached to every dream, a cost connected to every vision. My friends, greatness is not for sale, it must be paid for. And the currency of greatness, it's sacrifice. Look at the person next to you and tell them, greatness is not free, Now look at the person on your other side and tell them, but greatness is available. Success is not a mystery, it's a process. It's not luck, it's labor. It's not chance, it's choice. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your ally. Pain is your teacher. Pain is your guide. Every time you feel the pain of sacrifice, you are feeling the birth pangs of greatness. Every time you experience the discomfort of discipline, you are experiencing the labor of leadership. The principle of delayed gratification is not just about waiting. It's about choosing your pain. You can choose the pain of discipline now, or you can choose the pain of regret later. You can choose the pain of sacrifice today, or you can choose the pain of mediocrity tomorrow. But make no mistake, you will choose your pain. Some of you are trying to skip the process. You want the crown without the cross. You want the glory without the story. You want the blessing without the pressing. But life does not work that way. Every olive must be pressed to produce oil. Every grape must be crushed to produce wine. Every seed must die to produce fruit. The elements of meaningful sacrifice are non-negotiable. First, it must cost you something significant. If your sacrifice does not hurt, it's probably not a sacrifice. Second, it must be voluntary. Nobody can sacrifice for you. Third, it must be purposeful. Random sacrifice is just waste. I am looking at someone right now who's afraid of the pain. You are avoiding the pressure. You are escaping the process. But listen to me, your progress is hiding in your pain. Your breakthrough is waiting in your breakdown. Your miracle is masked in your mess. The relationship between pain and progress is divine. Show me someone who's making progress, and I will show you someone who's familiar with pain. Show me someone who's achieving greatness, and I will show you someone who's intimate with sacrifice. Pain is not just a sign that something's wrong. Sometimes pain is a sign that something's right. The muscle grows through the pain of resistance. The butterfly emerges through the pain of struggle. The diamond forms under the pain of pressure. Your current pain is not permanent. Your present sacrifice is not forever. But what you gain through this season of sacrifice will be yours to keep. What you build through this period of pain will be yours to possess. The price of greatness demands everything you have got, but it gives you more than you can imagine. It requires your total commitment, but it rewards your complete dedication. It asks for your best, but it returns your investment with interest. And speaking of investment, every sacrifice you make is like planting a seed. And speaking of investment, every sacrifice you make is like planting a seed. What you sacrifice today is what you harvest tomorrow. The law of sowing and reaping is absolute. It's inevitable. It's inescapable. When a farmer plants a seed, they don't just bury their future, they bury their fear. They take what they have in their hand and put it in the ground, believing that what comes up will be greater than what goes down. That's the principle of sacrifice. Some of you are holding on to seeds that should be in the ground. You are protecting what you should be planting. You are preserving what you should be sacrificing. But here's the truth, what you keep, you lose. And what you sow, you grow. Timing in sacrifice is everything. There's a season to sow and a season to reap. There's a time to sacrifice and a time to celebrate. You must discern your season. Some of you are trying to reap in your sowing season. Others are trying to sow in your reaping season. Understanding timing will save you from unnecessary frustration. Sacrifice has a multiplication effect. When you sacrifice one thing, you gain multiple things. When you sacrifice time, you gain wisdom. When you sacrifice comfort, you gain strength. When you sacrifice the familiar, you gain the extraordinary. Look at your hands right now. In those hands is seed. In those hands is potential. In those hands is possibility. But until you open those hands and release what you are holding, you cannot receive what you are destined for. The multiplication effect of sacrifice only works when you let go. Your sacrifice today is creating someone's provision tomorrow. Your pain today is producing someone's possibility tomorrow. Your discomfort today is developing someone's destiny tomorrow. That's how you build a legacy. That's how you create a future that outlives you. Legacy isn't built on what you keep. It's built on what you give. Legacy isn't constructed on what you gather. It's constructed on what you scatter. Legacy isn't founded on what you hold. It's founded on what you sow. Some of you are so focused on your immediate comfort that you are sacrificing your ultimate calling. You are so concerned with temporary pleasure that you are compromising permanent purpose. But legacy thinking requires sacrifice thinking. Legacy building demands sacrifice living. The seeds you plant today become the forest others will rest under tomorrow. The sacrifices you make today become the stories others will tell tomorrow. The price you pay today becomes the inheritance others will enjoy tomorrow. When you understand the principle of sacrifice, you begin to see every challenge as an opportunity to sow. Every problem becomes a chance to plant. Every difficulty becomes an occasion to deposit. Success is not an accident, it's a decision followed by deliberate actions. Your sacrifice must be strategic. It must be systematic, it must be specific. The first question you must ask yourself is not what you want to gain, but what you are willing to lose. What are you ready to give up? What are you prepared to release? What are you determined to let go? You see, successful people don't just stumble into sacrifice, they choose their sacrifices. I am going to give you 3 questions to ask yourself tonight when you go home. Number 1, what in my life is holding me back? Number 2, what am I willing to give up today for a better tomorrow? Number 3, what comfort am I trading for my calling? You need a sacrifice strategy. Random sacrifice produces random results. You must plan your sacrifice like a general plans a battle. You must map your sacrifice like an architect maps a building. You must structure your sacrifice like a composer structures a symphony. Your sacrifice strategy must align with your purpose. Don't sacrifice your marriage on the altar of your career. Don't sacrifice your health on the altar of your wealth. Don't sacrifice your character on the altar of your reputation. Strategic sacrifice requires wisdom. Managing the seasons of sacrifice is crucial. Sometimes you need to sacrifice sleep for study. Sometimes you need to sacrifice pleasure for preparation. Sometimes you need to sacrifice comfort for growth. But, and this is important, you must know when to push and when to pause. You must know when to accelerate and when to rest. Your sacrifice must be sustainable. Don't sacrifice in a way that destroys you. Don't sacrifice in a way that damages you. Sacrifice should build you, not break you. It should strengthen you, not weaken you. It should enhance you, not diminish you. You must measure the impact of your sacrifice. If what you are giving up isn't producing what you are aiming for, you need to reassess. If your sacrifice isn't moving you closer to your vision, you need to reevaluate. If your sacrifice isn't transforming you into who you need to become, you need to reconsider. Some of you are sacrificing, but you are not measuring, you are giving up. But you are not following up. You are letting go, but you are not looking back. Effective sacrifice requires evaluation. Productive sacrifice demands assessment. Sacrifice is not meant to be permanent. It's meant to be productive. You are not sacrificing just to sacrifice. You are sacrificing to succeed. You are not giving up just to give up. You are giving up to go up. I need you to understand something profound. This moment, right here, right now, is your moment of decision. Everything we have discussed tonight means nothing without your decision to act. Your sacrifice is your seed. Your pain is your preparation. Your struggle is your strength. Everything valuable requires something valuable. Everything meaningful demands something meaningful. Your future is not a gift, it's a purchase. And the price is what you are willing to sacrifice today. Some of you have been sitting on your seeds of sacrifice, waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is a myth. The best moment is now. The right time is today. Stop waiting for permission to be great. Stop waiting for approval to be extraordinary. Stop waiting for someone else to validate your vision. Your willingness to sacrifice is your permission to succeed. Stand up. Yes. I want you to physically stand up right now. Feel the energy of possibility coursing through your body. Feel the power of potential rising within you. Your sacrifice is not your enemy. It's your elevator. Your discomfort is not your destroyer. It's your developer. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, you have a choice to make. Will you choose comfort? Or will you choose greatness? Will you choose convenience? Or will you choose conquest? Will you choose the easy path? Or will you choose the path of purpose? There are two types of people. Those who will make excuses and those who will make progress. Those who will find reasons to remain the same and those who will find ways to transform. Which one are you? I want you to declare it right now. Say it with me. I choose sacrifice. I choose greatness. I choose purpose. Your sacrifice is calling you. Your destiny is waiting for you. Your future is beckoning you. But you must make the first move. You must take the first step. You must make the first sacrifice. I don't leave this room the same way you came in. Don't walk out of these doors without making a decision. Don't step into tomorrow without committing to sacrifice. The time is now. The place is here. The person is you. Remember, years from now, people will ask you when everything changed. And you will look back to this moment, this decision, this commitment to sacrifice. You will remember the day you stopped making excuses and started making progress. The day you stopped protecting your comfort and started pursuing your calling. I challenge you, no. I dare you to make that decision right now, to commit to sacrifice right now, to choose greatness right now. Your better tomorrow is waiting on your sacrifice today. Your greater future is calling for your commitment now. Stand up, step up, and sacrifice up. Your time is now. Your moment is here. Your future is waiting. Now go forth and make your sacrifice count. Go forth and make your sacrifice matter. Go forth and make your sacrifice multiply. The question is no longer, what if? The question is, what now? The question is no longer, can I? The question is, when will I? The question is no longer, should I sacrifice? The question is, what am I waiting for? Your sacrifice begins now. Your transformation starts today. Your future awaits your decision. Now, go forth and sacrifice for your better tomorrow.